He says he's not dead.
Yes, he is.
I'm not.
He isn't.
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
I'm getting better.
No, you're not. You'll be stone dead in a moment.
Oh, I can't take him like that.
Monty Python is arguably the most successful comedy troupe of all time. They solidified their legacy in shows like The Flying Circus and in Now for something completely different. However, to transfer this comedy into a feature film is something completely different. So, is their first film any good? I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
'Tis but a scratch.
A scratch? Your arm's off.
No, it isn't.
Well, what's that then?
I've heard worse.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail took a lot of convincing to do just to even get made. When it was all said and done, it was up to rock bands like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin of all people to put down the money for it, just because they just wanted to see it on screen. The production team found quite a few castles in Scotland in which to shoot, but because of Monty Python's reputation and the fact that they were shooting something that had to do with the Holy Grail, quite a few castles backed out, leaving the crew to use just the one castle for all the shoots. So what they did was to shoot it from all different angles.
If you will not show us the Grail, we shall take your castle by force.
You don't frighten us, English pig dogs.
The story of the Holy Grail tells the story of the old Arthur Pendragon legends. Arthur rides around Britain trying to gather knights to be in his royal court in Camelot. He does so on his mighty steed, which is in fact his squire banging two coconuts together, which of course leads him into the first castle, in which he has the most interesting and pointless argument.
A 5-ounce bird could not carry a 1-pound coconut.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Then off to the next castle where he meets Dennis and the Autonomous Collective, and he gets a lesson from the group. Sadly, because he's king, he is having none of it.
Come and see the violence inherent in the system. Help, help, I'm being repressed.
Bloody peasant. Oh, what a giveaway. Did you hear that? Did you hear that, eh?
Then Arthur faces the Black Knight, who just finished a hard duel. Arthur believes he'll be a great addition to the court, but he gets rebuffed and has to fight the knight in order to get through to the other side of that gully.
I command you, as King of the Britons, to stand aside.
I move for no man.
Later in his travels, Arthur finds Bedivere, who settles a dispute about whether or not to burn a woman at the stake for witchcraft. Bedivere accepts the appointment and of course joins Arthur.
What makes you think she is a witch?
Well, she turned me into a newt.
A newt?
I got better.
The king and Bedivere continue and collect other knights to their cause and travel to Camelot, but decide that it might be better to be somewhere else.
No, on second thoughts, let's not go to Camelot. It is a silly place.
Arthur and the knights are charged with a sacred quest by God to find the Holy Grail, and of course they set off to do so. The first castle they meet is filled with French people that simply irritate them, but they cannot defeat them regardless of their cunning plan. The group splits off. Robin encounters a three-headed giant who he runs away from.
He's buggered off.
So he has, he's scarping.
Brave Sir Robin ran away.
No!
Bravely ran away.
Galahad reaches a castle filled with temptation and has to be rescued from the grave peril. Lancelot eviscerates an entire wedding procession in order to save a young maiden who turns out to be a young prince. And meanwhile, Arthur and Bedivere face the Knights of Ni, but after that, they discover they are seeking an enchanter who knows where the Grail lies.
You seek the Holy Grail.
That is our quest. You know much that is hidden, though, Tim.
The movie has more twists and turns, and of course, because it's a comedy, there are plenty of jokes and other absurd things in the mix. The movie had in fact two directors, Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam, and it drove the crew and the cast mad because Jones was very pragmatic and wanted to shoot to go smoothly, and Gilliam was very artsy and pedantic and wanted to shoot to look good without any compromises. Let's just say this, if you watch the film and wonder, wow, there's a lot of smoke in England back then, that's Terry Gilliam.
The Bridge of Death, which leads to the Grail.
But say what you want about Gilliam and of course Jones, The Middle Ages mood was captured beautifully. You could tell who are the peasants and who are the royalty or the upper class, and it all came together in the bring out your dead scene perfectly.
Who's that then? I don't know. Must be a king. Why? He hasn't got shit all over him.
In typical Python fashion, the group played many different roles as needed, except for Chapman, who mostly played Arthur and a few really small background characters with no speaking roles. Chapman, of course, was selected to play Arthur because every single Python believed that he was the best man for the job, since he was regarded as the best actor of the troupe. Much later on, after his death, some people in the group said that he should have played King Lear after this role because he was so convincing and playing Arthur so straight in this whole chaotic comedy.
I seek the finest and the bravest knights in the land to join me in my court at Camelot. You have proved yourself worthy. Will you join me?
The problem with Chapman is that he was an alcoholic and drank a lot during the shoot, which made him quite difficult to work with after a certain hour. Overall, a funny and hilarious take on the Arthur legends. It is tremendously absurd, and most of the time, it's not taking itself very seriously. But of course, it comes from a place of reverence. The Pythons did quite an extensive work with researching that time period and the Excalibur myths, just in order to produce a high-quality comedy that stands the test of time and holds true to the very famous tradition of the Pythons, to end each sketch without telling you the end of it.
Just answer the 5 questions.
3 questions.
3 questions as best you can.
A wonderful film that I highly recommend you watch, and I hope it will lead you down the path of following up with more of their hilarious movies.
O Lord, bless this thy hand grenade, that with it thou mayst blow thine enemies to tiny bits.
I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this review, smash that like button to help me out and beat that algorithm. Check out other reviews that I've done in the past, or check out our live Saturday show where we cover all sorts of amazing films, including this one. And remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.